a taper up here, and then a real taper up here. Something pretty freaking easy. And then we'll hit accept. That's going to be our wide strand. And then we can just kind of go through. Think of it like the strand that fills up some volume. Alright, so this one's sort of going to be a little bit more similar to what we did in the first one with a little less steps. We'll start off by making it like our wide strand with a taper above and a taper below. And you know, these are all like anime type of Spike Goku like hair, this cyberpunk character. So that's kind of what we're doing. We're doing different variations of spikes for this particular one. And we'll do one thing different here. We'll hit Q and then press B. We'll do groom spike. Nope, that was not it. I need my groom spike. Do a couple of practice swings to see how that looks. Okay. And we can just simply do maybe like a twist once we get it. It's a little bit fat, so let's go ahead and lengthen it. Something like that. Do a quick little BPR. We can get something like that. Turn down the hair a little bit. And then we'll do the last one, which is our strafe. Now this one's probably going to be our most decorative and most used one. It will be the fourth hair strand. So what we'll do is that we'll just go through and just kind of bring it in here. And then we'll just go ahead and we'll start off with a little bit of a taper. Just a little bit. And same thing as before, except this time we'll kind of do a little bit of a strafe with the groom spike, where it's kind of like that a little bit. What I'm thinking also is I'd like to do a little bit of a groom lengthen so I can kind of pinch something off here. So maybe groom lengthen, just doing some really super quick stuff, that's all. Alright. And we'll taper this again. Just see how that looks like. And then we'll do a spike off to the side. Kind of like that a little bit. But now let's see if we can if you want to change it up and maybe add a twist to it, you can always do that. And we can see how that looks. Sort of like another type of hair strand that you can do, and it's a nice little decorative one. If you have to hit R twice to get the scale of your function down so you can make it a little bit longer, you can do that too. So you can kind of make your own hair strands. So now we're going to go over just real quick before we leave. We're going to just do a real quick setup for rendering. So to do this, we have to go back to our documents. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way up to our documents, which is also back up here, don't forget. And I'm going to find out where this back is. I'm going to hold left click down and bring that in and just set that to black. I'm going to take border 2, set that to black. I'm going to take my range, I'm going to set that to 0, And I'm going to set the center to 0. And so everything that we should have should now be visible for us. Try to get it as zoomed in as you possibly can without it breaking. And then lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to select my material to, just for color here and save myself time, I'm just going to hit a normal normal map because I kind of like the colors on there. I thought it was kind of neat. It kind of matched into the theme I was looking for, kind of just right. So we get a little bit of a hair strand like this. So it looks a little bit pixelated, slightly. It does, I can assure you, it does have a tendency to smooth out when you set the settings a little bit higher. Let's go ahead and go up to render. And I'm just going to go through and check in everything that I need. AO is probably one thing I'm going to have. We'll talk to you about BPR passes in a second here. And if you enable ambient occlusion, then you can go to the BPR and then start messing around with all the things like rays and things like that. Super sampler is probably going to be another thing for anti-aliasing that you want to kind of crank up. Sub-pix anti-aliasing render quality, I always set that to 7. Let's see, render property, I'm just going to turn that to about 9, and keep in mind this is all going to jack up on your render properties or your render time, so kind of bear that in mind. So once you have everything that you have, again, you can just kind of do one more quick little render. And again, what I did was I kind of just focused more on anti-aliasing and details quality and sub-pix quality maxed out, just so we can get something a little bit easier. And once you've gotten all of that taken care of, go up to where it says render passes. And what you're going to do is you're going to basically, for each hair strain you do this for, you're going to be exporting 3 maps. The first one is a composite, and then you're just going to kind of click on it. I like to choose a TIFF for my choice, and you can call this one, for example, this is strafing off the left. I call it, and it's going to be my 4th hair card. I'm going to call it BPR hair strafe, and then I'm just going to put the number 4 on there because it's the 4th one I did. So you would then just say beauty then at the end of all of that. So here, let me show you. Hair strand strafe beauty 4, and you would just simply export that out like so. And then you could just go to where it's find the shadow one, find that one, maybe just click on that to save yourself a whole bunch of things, and just simply call that one spec. And then make sure you set it to TIFF, and then just hit save. And then finally, the most important alpha here, the most mandatory I should say, is the alpha channel one. This is the one that you need for your transparency of your hair cards to work. You need to export this one out. I just click on that and call that alpha. Change it to TIFF. So now you're going to do basically what I did in all of these for each strand. Again, if you don't have any of them, that's okay. That's quite all right. We're just going through all of this for context and how it adds up to going into Substance Painter, so no one gets kind of lost. It's not. This course is about learning Substance Painter. It's not about learning ZBrush or making hair or anything like that. It's about learning Substance Painter, and unfortunately, Substance Painter doesn't have a workaround for dealing with hair, unless it's like clay hair, for example, or hair like you see in Fortnite where it's all stylized or something like that. Otherwise, the next one up is that it can take is alpha cards, but you have to work with the alpha cards and creating those textures in different softwares. And that's what this is, just helping you with context, not mandatory to do all these things, because again, we give you all these textures anyways. So with that said, what I want you to do is I want you to go through, if you are wanting to stick around, I want you to just kind of go through, do a render, just make sure you set it to the right material, make sure you are exporting out 3 JPEGs and alpha, or 3 JPEGs when you hit BPR, for example, and alpha and a beauty and a speck or shadow map, I should say, as it is here when you go under BPR or pass. And then from there, we'll kind of show you how it plugs into Maya. And so stick around and stay tuned.